Hello, everyone. It is I, your ever faithful lore scribe, here with a bit of an update for the previous session of And We Went Out Roving. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, the sound for the recording was eaten by an extraplanar beast, and now I have been tasked with catching you up with what happened last time. It was quite eventful. I'll try to keep it as succinct as I can. So, without further ado, let's suit up and dive in. We begin, as you might expect, where we left off, within the Root and Apple Commissary run by Thittershins after a near-catastrophic encounter with an artifact of life. Thittershins, now inhabiting the body of a wood eladrin, awoke to find us around them, and after a bit of a panic, they began to explore and discover the world through their new senses, including, apparently, the ability to hear loud thoughts and the ability to shapeshift into a form similar to a terrace's. Meanwhile, Corbin received a sending spell notifying them of a message that awaited them at the nearby inn, which drew them away from our party. After further discussion as to what should be done with the newly formed Thittershins, including a decision to maintain their decency through the creative use of foliage, and a terrace having a mild breakdown after being called mother, we headed to the nearby inn to finally take a rest for the evening. Upon arrival, we found Corbin had already departed, leaving behind a hastily scrawled letter stating that they could not wait due to news about their missing son, and thanking us for the time we had shared. We stumbled upstairs to our quarters, and Safi prepared a pot of catnip tea with some help from their sentient shrubbery to help us relax. It certainly seemed to work, as Allegan and Thittershin succumbed to sleep the moment their heads hit their pillows, with Raya following shortly thereafter. Ataris and Safi stayed up a while longer, talking to each other, before the confluence of recent events caused Ataris to have a flashback of their time within the descending city of Elturel, reliving its fall into Avernus. With Safi's help, Ataris was finally able to calm down, and they fell into a deep slumber. Safi used this alone time to take the opportunity to sketch a detailed facsimile of the tattoo on Allegan's wrist. Satisfied with their work, they packed up their things, before they looked up and caught the eyes of Thittershins, who promptly fell back asleep, muttering something about thoughts being too loud. Their brief panic subsided, and Saffron returned to their quarters and fell asleep. The next morning, we arose early at Ataris's behest, and we began to prepare to hunt the Odiug, until everything came to a screeching halt when Allegan was unable to find their Waterdavian coffee press, which Ataris realized, to their horror, they had forgotten to pack. Rushing downstairs, they found that Flanders the barkeep was in possession of a fine Kalimshan espresso machine, and having averted that particular crisis, we set into breakfast and departed for the day. Agreeing that it would be in the best interest of both ourselves and Thittershins, we left them with the Spore Sage Nadisi for the day, as we ventured further afield in search of the Odiug. Our search wasn't a long one, as our trail led us to a nearby gully just to the south of town where it had made its lair, and it was already beginning to gather things into a veritable mulch mound of a den within a cave. We sprang into action after we revealed its presence within the mound. One quickly fought and rather vicious battle later, the Odiug lay unconscious, and we emerged triumphant. Or so we thought. Unfortunately for us, it was revealed during the battle that the floor of the cave wasn't especially stable, and as Raya delivered a final thunderous blow, the floor creaked, groaned, and finally gave way. The Odiug plummeted into the cavern below, landing with a splash into a pool of water. Looking down into the pit, we saw some lizard folk beginning to swim towards the Odiug, but with some quick thinking and some rather sturdy rope, we were able to lasso the Odiug and begin lifting it out of the water. A pair of lizard folk scrambled up the ropes to engage with us, yet with some deft footwork and a few solid blows, they were driven off, and we were successful in recovering the still slumbering Odiug. Now, with the new cavern revealed, and a few questions about a particular fighting style, we take a moment to rest before once more we go out roving. I gotta sneeze, god damn it.